Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm pleased to follow the member for Ochil and South Perthshire, and I do agree that nationalism is a real problem, and that's why it's such a shame that it seems that the party opposite, not maybe him, but some members in his party opposite, seem to be pursuing an English nationalist policy, a policy that will likely lead to the breakup of our union if it is not done badly, a policy that will lead to a hard border in Northern Ireland and the departure of Northern Ireland, a policy that would lead to further fragmentation, based on the view, I think, that the English nation should rule over other nations, and their views of the union should be disregarded because the English nationalism is the most important. I believe that's what some of his colleagues are pursuing in a kind of hard Brexit kind of view. And I think that's very worrying, and we should reflect on it across the House. I also agree very much with the views of my honourable friend from Dulwich and West Norwood, and how she described the importance of hearing all voices in a debate. For me, the principle of democracy is that the losing side can keep making their argument. And as soon as that principle is removed, democracy has ended. If you say, in a moment in time now that is quickly vanishing into the history books, actually, 3 years now, 4 years next year, should hold and bind all peoples, that alternatives shouldn't be pursued, then that has chilling effects on our wider democracy. Of course, why not say that we should cancel all future elections? Why not say, well, the opposition shouldn't be allowed into the chamber this week because the government won the last election and only the government should rule? I respect the last general election, not only partly because I was elected in it and I defeated a Conservative. But the very first thing that I did was vote against the Queen's speech. The very first vote that I made, in effect, was voting down the manifesto that had just won and attempting to bring down a government and force a new election if that had come down. Because that is the right in democracy for the oppositions to keep opposing. And it is not the duty of oppositions to implement the winning side. That is the duty of the winning side. And that, for me, is true in a general election, and it is true in a referendum. And so I think when we talk about respecting the sides, I come from a Remain area, but even if you come from Leave areas but are sceptical about how things are now playing out, those views must be respected. And I fear that the way that the opposition views are disrespected by some of the hardcore Brexiteers on the Conservative Party is a symbol of how they treat democracy more broadly. If we look at electoral registration and the boundary changes, rather than choosing the high moment to draw the boundary lines, say the referendum, for example, would be the high moment, or a general election, the moment that was chosen was deliberately the moment that was the lowest number of registrations on the register. It was just after we had changed over to individual registration, but before any actual public vote had taken place. And we know many people that when the election comes round will choose to register or remember to register, because it's not a choice, everyone should do it, but will remember to register. Why on earth do we not draw the boundaries according to the census? Why not actually include everyone in this debate? And that, I think, is a sign that actually this government is disingenuous about including all voices. Rather than trying to open up citizens' assemblies, rather than trying to open up a national discussion about how our country goes forward, rather than trying to open up the register and say, for example, allow schools to register to people to vote, what they do is they close the debate down. They say you surrender if you question a way forward. You can't register to vote unless you fit in to these small parameters, and we're going to redraw the boundaries so it excludes you disproportionately. And that is the nature of our democracy, fragile, and I hope we regain it.